Hello. Did I get everything I needed? Hi guys. Just making sure I have all my ingredients that I need. Hi Lori. Hi Ashley. How are you guys? Hope everyone's staying safe with the whole virus situation. Um, I'm trying to stay as safe as possible, but it's hard for me to stay home and not do nothing. This morning, I went to the thrift store. I shouldn't have, but I did. It was still open. Um, And like I said, I'm still working every day. I was off today. So even at work, I'm exposing myself. So I try to, take the precautions that I have to take to protect myself from this virus. Take it as seriously as you guys can because it is something very serious. Um, Sorry for the noise. My dogs are going crazy. Um, I'm doing pretty good. Um, like I said, I was off from work today and I've been getting this idea on using crushed red pepper. I got this batch for $1 from, of course, Dollar Tree because I work there. And so, crushed red pepper, I think it's an ingredient in the fiery water protection oils and things like that. It is used for protection magic or defensive magic. Um, there's recipes out there in defensive magic usually comes attached to hexing. Not always the case, but most of the times, yes. Um, so it's used in some types of protection oils and recipes and things like that. Now, the way I'm gonna prepare it is I'm gonna make a mix with the crushed red pepper. I'm gonna make a mix of other ingredients that is going to make my own recipe of the crushed red peppers, and it's gonna have certain items that are gonna umph up the energy on the crushed red pepper, other than just using it by itself. So you can use this for oils. You can use it to sprinkle it around. You can make a batch with salts. There's so many things you could do with it, but today's gonna be my crushed red pepper recipe. Um, in my personal intention, um, I don't know who is or isn't familiar with war water and things like that. Usually it's more conjure work and like hoodoo type recipes and things like that. And it tends to be part of those traditions. But it can be used in magic in general. The cross reference of the purpose of the ingredient can be used in all types of different witchcraft. But the whole like the hot foot powder, goofer dust, and things like that are more hoodoo related. So I got a batch of crushed red peppers. Um, when I the purpose of my crushed red pepper recipe, I want it to be something I can add to oils if I want to make oil, something I can add to salt, something I can sprinkle by itself, something I can add a pinch of to an incense mix. Um, so the types of ingredients I'm picking and choosing to add with these have different purposes, like exercising or cleansing, and exercising is more of removal of a darker energy or negative energy, right? So in that case, it's gonna also have some of that in it. For that, I have rosemary. For me, rosemary is a very protective herb in my craft. And I have found rosemary in different exorcism type recipes where they burn rosemary and myrrh and stuff like that. So I have some rosemary that I'm going to be adding to it. I have my crushed up myrrh right in here inside my ceramic mortar and pestle. Now in the conjure work of it, hoodoo type work of it, I'm gonna add some moss. Moss is also an ingredient used in war water and war oils. I'm not going to use much of it. I'm just going to use a little bit, crush it up in with the myrrh and create the herbal mix it with the crushed peppers, bless it, and some more ingredients. In here, this is where I'm going to house the crushed red pepper. It is a mason jar I got around Samhain with a skull on it for Dollar Tree. And it's just a mason jar. But inside I have my last ingredient. And this ingredient is going to really make up my recipe. Let me log into the chat. Hi, Pat. Hi, Janice. Lady Blind Wolf, Estelle. Thank you for joining. So, for those of you guys just coming in, I'm going to give a quick fill-in. I'm creating a crushed red pepper recipe where I'm going to mix my crushed red pepper with different ingredients to make a more potent crushed red pepper that I can use in my craft for the purposes that I want it to really have. Now, crushed red pepper is using defensive magics and things like that. Some hexing crosswork is also known as crosswork in the hoodoo and in those types of tradition, in conjure work, crosswork or uncrossing, right? You could also use it for uncrossing, protect yourself. So I'm getting a batch of the crushed red peppers and I'm mixing it with different herbs that have different purposes and different meanings, similar to the purpose of my crushed red pepper recipe. So I am adding a little bit of moss, which is this is used a lot in root work, hoodoo, conjure work. Rosemary is used for exorcism. Now the moss is used for protective purposes. Sorry, I'm stuttering. I've seen it used in war water recipes, war oil recipes. I've seen them used to stuff puppets or voodoo dolls or whatever in your craft you call them, dollies, spirit dolls. I've even used them for spirit dolls too. So I'm only going to use a little bit of moss. I'm not going to use this whole batch. I have some crushed up myrrh. And you guys don't have to follow this recipe. You can add certain things that intuitively speak to you. Like the ingredients I'm about to add have spoken to me and are ingredients that I'm familiar with and that I've worked with before. So I know the properties of them, and so I want to add those energies of those herbs and purposes onto my crushed red pepper, so I can have a bomb fire crushed red pepper, bomb hot crushed red pepper recipe. All right, guys, the last ingredient is already in here, and this is an empty wasp's nest. Here in South Florida, we get a lot of wasps around the perimeter of the house, on the ceiling, by the front door, back door, windows, and they make their nest there, and they live there, and they have their eggs there or whatever. So I don't kill them, but when I've seen that there's an abandoned what do you want to call this? An abandoned hive. I pick these up. Now, these, obviously you're picking them empty. So this is good for workings that incorporate making someone go farther from you or pushing someone away from you, purposely or in a defensive type of way. Is good for removing someone out of your life or out of your path. Kind of like an abandoned nest, if you will, right? Where they've walked away or abandoned, right? So this is what the purpose of this is. This is the only one I've gotten my hands into lately. Like I said, I don't kill the wasps or burn them or nothing or chase them away. I wait till they're gone or I don't see them again, and I see the hive already abandoned, and so I grab them, and they're really good for those types of I I need to find some of those. We have plenty of those wasp nests. They're really good. Pat, I wouldn't chase the wasps. I don't like wasps, so I wait for them to abandon, and so I keep these. This is the last one I have, the only one I've actually cut my hands into lately. I need to go in the yard and look for some. And so this is going to be the one. I'm going to use the whole thing because I want this to add its property to the crushed red pepper, right? I want to be able to have rosemary as purification, cleansing, exorcism. I have the myrrh for the same purposes, also protection from above and the good energies and the light, right? Moss is used in conjure work in a way of defensive or voodoo dolls or kind of like more left-hand path kind of work, if you know what I mean. Where it's I don't want to just say it's darker magic because it's not just saying darker magic or black magic. You get what I'm saying? But it is a darker aspect of your craft. In that case, my craft, in my practice. Some people don't practice anything like that. I do. I practice defensive work and hexing and things like that. Now, I don't hex nobody that hasn't hexed me. You know, like I don't do anything like that. I don't purposely hurt people. But I do like to know how to defend myself and the people that I love. We have plenty of those wasp nests. My friend has a huge piece her husband found in the house he was working on. To be careful, I hadn't look around here. I am allergic. So this I'm going to crush up and add there too. And that's going to be my main ingredient. Now in here, I think I've spoken about this in a previous live where I showed you guys this beautiful box. That must have been one of my early videos, right? And in this box in particular, I keep certain ingredients. Snake skin. I have some beetles. The beautiful beetle. Some bugs I do catch at home that have been dyed or I find them dried up or dead. I pick them up and use them. Others I found outside. Others I've ordered already preserved from a really good shop on Etsy. Like this is my cicada. She's huge. And these haven't been killed. They've been sourced ethically or used ethically. In my black witch's salt, this is one of the ingredients. And it's a little bug we get here a lot. It looks like a fly, but it's not a fly. It has a little tail. And the tail goes like this while it's flying around and it stings you like a mosquito. So whenever I find these lying around, I grab them and I use them for defensive work. And I have 2 of them, and I'm actually going to add them in there as well. I'm going to add 1. I'm going to add a piece of this, not the whole thing, which is the snake skin. I only did about half of it. And from here, this is all I'm going to grab. So from here, I grab one of those little pinching things. They bite hard as heck. And a piece of snake skin. Guys, I don't try to okay, how can I I don't feel that I should limit my magic or the ingredients that I use. When some things come from nature and they, die or things like that. Now it's different. Like, let's say I was to kill a spider. Well, first of all, some people kill spiders and that's okay. Because if I was allergic to any type of spider, any spider bites, I would make sure that I have no spiders around the house, right? Now, in that case, you ask for forgiveness or whatever your tradition is or whatever, however you want to do it, right? But I've seen people use spiders for spider oil and things like that. Lady Grey Dancer has an amazing spider oil recipe, and it's amazing. I love it. So I'm not against into using ingredients like that whatsoever, depending on how they're sourced. So In here, I have my myrrh, I have the stinging bug, and I have the snake skin. Now, I feel that snake skin is going to give me trouble. Oh my God, the incense I'm burning smells so good. And I got it from my local witchy shop. And it's called Pagan Magic. And it smells so good. And then the black magic one also smells so good. They smell so good. So that's what I'm burning. So the purpose of this crushed red pepper, I can add this to any types of crafts that I want to do. For example, a mojo bag, or I can sprinkle it on a candle when I anoint a candle, and I can use some of the powder instead of sprinkling the candle with herbs. I would do it with the powder mix, and that'll prepare the candle and set it the intentions of protection. That's what I'm going to add last. I'm going to add the rosemary. I'm going to use the whole batch of rosemary because I have more rosemary. Where do you get Spanish moss? Wondering if it's the same as the moss we have everywhere here. Yes, Spanish moss you can get even in arts and crafts stores like Michael's, Joann Fabrics. The Dollar Tree sells Spanish moss in the floral and crafts department. And that's usually where I get it, a bag of moss, of Spanish moss. You could even get it for free here in the South. It grows off of trees. So if you're lucky enough, you can get it off the trees and dry it up at home. But you need to be careful because there's a bug that lives inside the moss, or it's attracted to the moss out in nature when it's hanging on trees and stuff, and they like bite. They're kind of ticks or something like that, but they're not ticks. It's just a type of bug that likes the moss. So I wouldn't go trying to climb on a tree to grab a bunch of moss off of it. I would stay away from that. I would go and buy moss that's already been prepared in a bag and things like that. I will send you pictures of the moss we have. We have tons of hanging moss here. Be careful with the hanging moss. You can trim off of it in the bottom if you see that it's fine and good, but I wouldn't go just trying to remove a whole batch of the moss off the tree or nothing like that. There's different types of mosses too, not just Spanish moss. All right. Here I have the nest. This is the Spanish moss. Anybody has any questions? It usually grows in warmer areas like Florida. This is the most I'm using right now. I'm gonna use my bowline or my ritual knife for cutting, which is actually some shears. And that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just grouping it together and kind of trimming it into pieces. That worked. That was awesome. Got the moss. Now I'm gonna go ahead and crush the nest. Wow. It literally went into a fine powder. I had it for a while though, but a little bit more. We have Spanish moss in southern Georgia, but up here where I'm the other state, it gets too cold for it. We just had some kind of animal dig a huge wasp nest from the roots of a tree. The tree is actually leaning now. Wow. All right. I have this other one pestle where I can really get into the whole idea. You guys, I was going by the ingredients that I had. I didn't go about looking for any crazy ingredients that I didn't have. Other than the crushed red pepper, which I got for $1. This batch off of Dollar Tree. I know that if you go to Luna's Corner, she has an Etsy shop and she is gathering selling Spanish moss from her Etsy shop. That would be awesome. Like I said, I get mine either from the arts and crafts store or Dollar Tree. And I want to somehow do it little by little. Crush some of it down. It's the first time I think I ever do like an actual recipe online. I don't remember ever doing one other than like one of the puppets that I make and stuff like that. I did one a while ago when I first started my channel, but I thought it'd be fun to do something like this, and maybe I do some more things like this for you guys to kind of know how to make things from home with your own cooking spices or things that are not hard to find, right? Even things that you could just find in your supermarket. Now I'm going to go ahead. I use about half of it, half the bottle, and I mixed it with the herbs and re-crushed it with all the other ingredients. What I'm going to do is first pour the rest of the red peppers inside the bottle. And I'm going to have to buy 2 more because I want to fill it completely. And then now I'm just going to add in the mixture. Little by little because I wouldn't want anything to spill. there you have it, guys. It looks nice with the green in it and all the ingredients. Really nice. I love the color. That prepared me about half a jar, but I'll probably just get a whole other batch of the crushed red pepper, add it in and reshake it up, and then I would bless it, consecrate it for its purpose, light up a candle on top, and let it maybe drip over it or not to kind of seal it. Then whenever I need it, I will use it. That is the recipe, guys. I mean, if you have any questions, I'll take some questions. I know it's a short video, but I kind of wanted to show you guys, share this recipe with you that I kind of came up with because of the ingredients I had and well, the different purposes that the red pepper, the crushed red pepper is used for, right? And so I kind of thought, what other ingredients can I add in to make it more of a potent crushed red pepper, not just any crushed red pepper. Give me 1 second. While I get comfortable and I can actually chat with you guys for a little bit. Of course, I would drop it. Did it survive the fall? Yes. The fall has survived. Wow. All right, I mean, just be careful. It's a cool box I thrifted the other day. It's like a little treasure chest. It's a jewelry box, but I'm thinking about making it a little travel altar or something. I don't know. All right, guys. I'm going to do an altar tour coming soon because as you can see, this is my altar. And I have my Scullies over here. That whole corner, have my horn god, Hecate. But that's up and coming an altar tour of my witchy room completely once it's completed. I have the whole half of the other room to do, of this whole room. That corner's done, this corner's done, which you can't really see, where I have my Yamaya altar right there, the masks. But now where I'm sitting, this altar right behind me needs to be set up. This whole altar, and then my bookshelf and my huge armoire where all my herbs and all that stuff is. Love you too, Patty, Pat, and Shauna. Any questions for me? They close all of our thrift stores here. My kid works at Goodwill. Oh, that sucks. I think the ones here are closing down tomorrow. I didn't do the haul video. I was going to, but I didn't. I went to the thrift store the other day and got a lot of new jars for like my apothecary and stuff. Here I actually have hibiscus flower. This jar was one of the ones I bought the other day, and it's this beautiful amber color. And it brought a cork. And so I washed it, of course, and disinfected it and all the good stuff. And I filled it with hibiscus flowers. I use hibiscus flowers in my magic for different types of purposes, not just one. And I enjoy it. And if you haven't ever had hibiscus tea, it is so good. So good. What else? What else can I share with you guys? I have been working little bit by little bit in my witchy room. It's still not complete to how I want it, but I'm getting there. I'm going to get some drapes for the window. I wanted a big couch, but I couldn't get it yet. So I got this cute antique chair that I'm sitting in, which is amazing. See, this is like a whole mess over here that I have to clean up. But everything behind me and this table behind me also is my other altar that I have to edit and fix and clean and move around. I love that mirror all the way back there. That mirror, it looks like a cathedral. And I have some Scully sitting there. But I'll give you guys a tour of my altar now that once the witchy room is done, which will hopefully be in the next 2-3 weeks. I'll finish setting everything up and have it more organized, closer to how I want it. And then I'll give you guys a tour and things like that. All right, guys. So that was my recipe of my crushed red pepper bomb hot, fiery, defensive or defense against the dark arts crushed red pepper powder. Check. I like that. I take that from Harry Potter, right? Defense against the dark arts. That's what I would call my hexing. You know. I love hibiscus tea too, Lori. I love it. It's so good. All right, guys. Thank you for joining me. I know this was a short one, but I just wanted to share that with you guys. I thought it'd be kind of cool. And who knows, maybe I'll start doing more recipes and things like that here on YouTube. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.